Every afternoon around 2 o'clock, a heavy wave quietly settles behind your eyes. Your eyelids droop, thoughts slow, and mental clarity starts slipping away unnoticed. Most people believe this feeling simply means the body needs rest or coffee, but your body is not politely requesting a short, harmless afternoon nap. It is triggering a full-scale metabolic emergency response inside your system. This afternoon crash is not ordinary tiredness caused by long working days. It is a biological alarm activating fat storage deep inside your abdomen. While you feel calm, stress hormones are quietly rising throughout your bloodstream. Cortisol increases silently, tightening visceral fat around your waistline every single afternoon. This process repeats daily, without pain, noise, or any conscious bodily awareness. Many people treat the afternoon slump as a simple productivity problem today. They respond with coffee, sugar, or pushing themselves harder through mounting fatigue. Unfortunately, this reaction actually worsens the underlying biological problem significantly over time. The afternoon crash is not about discipline, motivation, or personal weakness alone. It is about ancient survival systems misfiring inside modern daily lifestyles today. When energy suddenly drops, the brain immediately perceives a serious survival threat. The brain depends heavily on stable glucose levels to function properly every day. Even brief drops in fuel can activate emergency protective biological mechanisms instantly. These reactions happen automatically, long before any conscious awareness ever truly appears. Your adrenal glands respond instantly to protect vital brain function at all costs. Stress hormones flood the bloodstream to stabilize the body's energy supply quickly. While protecting the brain, these hormones encourage fat storage elsewhere in the body. This explains why belly fat becomes increasingly stubborn and resistant over time. The afternoon crash quietly reshapes your body day after day without notice. It happens while sitting, working, driving, or staring endlessly at digital screens. Today, we will break down exactly why this keeps happening repeatedly to you. More importantly, we will show you how to stop it naturally and safely. Not with willpower, but with proper biological alignment working in your favor. The crash occurs when two powerful biological forces collide each afternoon unexpectedly. Both forces are shaped directly by your daily lifestyle habits and choices. The first force begins with what you choose to eat at lunch. Meals high in refined carbohydrates spike blood sugar extremely fast after eating. Bread, pasta, white rice, or sugary drinks easily trigger this response quickly. Blood glucose rises sharply within an hour after finishing the meal completely. The pancreas releases insulin to protect delicate blood vessels from internal damage. Insulin works efficiently, sometimes far more efficiently than the brain initially expects. Blood sugar then drops faster than the brain is prepared for biologically. The brain interprets this sudden drop as a serious survival threat immediately. Emergency stress hormones activate immediately to compensate for sudden energy loss signals. Fat storage signals switch on instantly without hesitation or conscious control whatsoever. While you feel sleepy, your organs experience intense biochemical stress internally simultaneously. Cortisol and insulin overlap together inside the bloodstream at the same time. This powerful combination strongly promotes visceral fat accumulation around the abdomen region. The crash is not harmless afternoon fatigue, as commonly believed by many people. It is an active fat-building event happening inside you daily without awareness. Unfortunately, this represents only half of the real biological story behind fatigue. The second force starts building quietly from the moment you wake each morning. It accumulates silently inside the brain throughout the entire waking day continuously. By mid-afternoon, the pressure becomes increasingly difficult to ignore completely anymore. And the brain demands immediate relief to protect itself from perceived danger. Adenosine begins accumulating in your brain from the very moment you wake. It is a natural byproduct of energy use, like exhaust from engines. Each thought, movement, and heartbeat slowly increases adenosine pressure throughout the brain. This pressure represents the biological need for rest and neural recovery processes. Normally, adenosine rises gradually and dissipates overnight during deep sleep cycles fully. But poor sleep prevents full clearance, leaving residual pressure the next day. Morning caffeine can temporarily mask this pressure without actually removing it completely. As the day continues, adenosine stacks higher, waiting patiently to be released. By mid-afternoon, adenosine reaches a critical tipping point in many adults. At this moment, the brain attempts to force a recovery shutdown state. If resisted, the brain escalates stress signals aggressively to regain control internally suddenly. This escalation involves cortisol, the body's primary long-term stress hormone response. Cortisol is meant to solve emergencies, not daily afternoon energy dips repeatedly. When cortisol rises, the body shifts into conservation and fat storage mode. Muscle tissue becomes less responsive, while fat cells become highly protective biologically. This is the hidden cost of fighting afternoon fatigue with willpower alone. The brain does not negotiate when survival chemistry is activated internally suddenly. It will sacrifice energy, focus, and metabolism to preserve perceived safety first. This creates the perfect storm for stubborn fatigue and belly fat storage. Most people blame aging, but the real issue is mismanaged biology today. Adenosine and cortisol feed each other in a destructive feedback loop cycle. More adenosine triggers more cortisol when proper rest is repeatedly denied daily. More cortisol disrupts nighttime sleep, increasing adenosine accumulation tomorrow, again, significantly further. This loop quietly tightens its grip with each passing day unnoticed internally. Eventually, the afternoon crash arrives earlier and feels heavier each passing year. Energy becomes unpredictable and motivation fades despite strong intentions and disciplined efforts. This is where most people surrender and accept decline as normal aging. But biology does not demand decline. It demands proper signals consistently applied. If you interrupt this loop, energy can rebound quickly and sustainably again. The key is relieving adenosine pressure without triggering cortisol spikes unnecessarily again. This requires precision, not brute force naps or caffeine fixes daily anymore. The solution must calm the nervous system while keeping awareness intact fully. This is where the next protocol changes everything dramatically for afternoon energy. It stops the cortisol surge before it ever begins forming internally again. And it restores clarity without stealing energy from tomorrow or sleep cycles. Most people have never been shown this approach before in simple terms. Yet it works with biology, not against it at all naturally today. When applied correctly, the afternoon becomes a second energy peak window reliably. Instead of collapse, you experience calm, steady alertness returning naturally again smoothly. This is the turning point most people never reach consistently without guidance, because no one explains what to do next clearly or practically before. But once you see it, the pattern becomes obvious and unavoidable instantly. The body has been asking for relief, not stimulation, for many years. And the next step provides that relief precisely without sedation or fatigue. This is where true energy restoration begins quietly and sustainably long-term. Not through effort, but through intelligent nervous system regulation methods applied correctly. The body relaxes, cortisol drops, and clarity returns quickly without resistance again. This sets the stage for the final metabolic shift later this afternoon, because energy must be stabilized before metabolism can recover fully and safely. And what comes next determines whether fat storage continues or stops permanently. The solution begins with non-sleep deep rest, a precise nervous system reset. NSDR allows recovery without sleeping, preventing grogginess while lowering cortisol quickly, safely, naturally. 10 minutes shifts brainwaves downward, restoring dopamine and calming stress responses. This creates a second wind without borrowing energy from tonight's sleep cycles later. Use NSDR when the crash approaches, not after exhaustion fully takes control. Next, light exposure provides powerful alertness through direct circadian signaling pathways today. Indoor lighting tricks the brain into believing evening has already arrived prematurely. Step outside for 5 minutes. Even cloudy daylight delivers massive neurological stimulation. Natural light suppresses melatonin, boosts serotonin, and stabilizes cortisol rhythms during afternoons daily. Think of sunlight as caffeine without crashes, dependence, or sleep disruption later. Finally, movement completes the protocol by restoring circulation and metabolic signaling rapidly. Sitting shuts down fat-burning enzymes and allows blood pooling in legs quickly. 1 minute of movement reverses the stagnation faster than coffee ever could. Stairs, squats, or brisk walking force blood back toward the brain immediately. Muscle contractions activate glucose transporters, clearing leftover sugar from lunch efficiently now. This releases norepinephrine, sharpening focus without triggering harmful stress spikes suddenly inside. Unlike caffeine, this energy does not sabotage tonight's deep sleep cycles later. Afternoon coffee creates tomorrow's fatigue by disrupting slow-wave sleep patterns consistently. Poor sleep raises morning cortisol, guaranteeing another crash the following afternoon again. This is the cycle, trapping millions in exhaustion and stubborn weight gain. By using NSDR, light, and movement, you break the loop calmly today. Energy becomes stable because the nervous system feels safe again each afternoon. Cortisol remains rhythmic instead of spiking defensively every afternoon during work hours. When cortisol stabilizes, visceral fat loses its biological protection signals over time. Fat loss resumes not through effort, but through proper signaling daily consistency. The afternoon transforms from survival mode into a productive clarity window again. You stop fighting biology and start cooperating with it intelligently each day. Energy is no longer random, emotional, or dependent on stimulants' daily remedies. It becomes a predictable biological product you can reliably generate every afternoon. This protocol works because it respects how the human body evolved naturally. No hacks, no extremes, just precise inputs, creating calm outputs consistently daily. When systems feel safe, they stop hoarding fat defensively inside the body. This is why willpower was never the correct solution for afternoon fatigue. Biology always wins, but it can work in your favor with guidance. The afternoon crash is not required by aging for healthy adults today. It is a signal asking for better inputs, not resignation or decline. When you correct inputs, outputs shift almost immediately. Within days, sometimes hours, your energy rebounds, your waste responds, and clarity returns steadily over time. This is not motivation. It is metabolic alignment working as designed again. The afternoon becomes a strength instead of a daily struggle for you. Energy flows when the system is built correctly from the inside out. You were never broken, just mismatched with modern habits and timing errors. Fix the mismatch, and energy becomes effortless again without forcing anything daily. This is how you engineer afternoons instead of surviving them with confidence. Calm systems outperform stress systems every single time in human biology contexts. And calm systems are built through intentional daily protocols applied consistently today. This is the path to sustainable energy after 50 without stimulants or crashes. The body responds quickly when finally given the right signals again consistently. Stop enduring afternoons and start designing them intelligently, using biology, not force. Because energy is built, not wished for or forced through willpower alone.